This day presents a somber and melancholy mood. The clouds are all but choking out the afternoon rays. The scruffy trees are barren along the bank, and frigid gusts rise at random. To my left is the apartment complex in which I lived for a season of my youth. Some 30 yards distant is where my father used to park his two-tone blue GMC pickup. Nearby is the bank where I began my journey as a marksman, confidently clutching my Red Ryder and instilling fear into aluminum cans the county over. There's the familiar pathway, the LED to my family's unit, and the sidewalk on which I proudly paraded my Bay Area Little League football uniform all those years ago. But now, a thorn-riddled fence divides the complex and canal. The units appear drab and dilapidated. My former home has not aged well. To my right is the facade of that old Italian restaurant that was once a Bay Area landmark. For decades, it bustled with business and hosted the finest of local talent, but no longer. All of her windows are either boarded or broken. Graffiti now festoons those once vibrant stucco walls. Those tarnished steel appliances that once served in preparing countless meals for expectant patrons now lay in ruin about the surrounding grounds. Time has not been kind to this once thriving venue either. I suppose the same may be said of me. There before me are the fields on which I once played and ran and frolicked without a care. And yet, here I sit with aching back, knees with minimal cartilage, feet with plantar fasciitis, throbbing joints, tinnitus in the ears and tendinitis in the elbows, and more baggage of the mind and cracks in the heart than I'd care to admit. Time is indeed no respecter of person, place, or what man would deem progress. And if I'm honest, its product is a deceitful mindset that I do struggle with. It can sometimes seem hard not to view everything through a lens of dismal decay. Not only as we survey those sad scenes associated with our past, but even when the new arises, we may yet view it in the inevitability of its future state. This state of mind is a powerful tool in the adversary's arsenal, for it will often produce complacency and depression in its host that is bound to leave them all but fruitless in mind, body, and spirit. In such a state, the most vibrant palette will now appear dreary and drab. In such a state, an abundant life of purpose will now be made up merely of daily exhausting skirmishes for menial survival. What a sorry state of affairs a believer tangled in such a state may settle for when the blessed truth and its fruits reside within reach at any moment. We must be reminded always that the consolation of Christ abounds. We must be reminded that His mercies are renewed with each moment. We must be reminded that His word is living and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword. We must be reminded that no season nor circumstance will bind the Lord from meeting, embracing, and granting great purpose to His seeking servant. We must be reminded that this world is not our home. Why then should we be surprised when we see the inevitable decay of a world that is following just such a path? Indeed, our outward man is perishing, but the inward man is renewed daily. We ought not in angst hinder such blessings as refreshing, reconciliation, and edification afforded by the Almighty, that we would not lose heart while trotting out the paths of this temporal pilgrimage. For coming is a day when no longer shall decay touch our bodies nor our habitations. So let the surroundings of sorrow not drag us to their depths, but rather let it be in constant contrast of the blessed hope and glorious consolation we have in Christ Jesus as an anchor for the soul. Let it lead us not into slothful complacency, but spurn us to be about the urgency of the gospel. Though this world and its flesh shall rot, crumble, and molder in the grave, it is not the will of God that souls should perish, but rather that they would turn unto Him and live. We have not only a timely work today, but beyond ample edification and renewal, to do so by the compelling truth that accompanies we who are saved by grace through faith. There is no room for constant despair to the recipient of such an inheritance, only a steadfast purpose to be about kingdom business, and the steadfast promise that stands in stark contrast to this world's dilapidation and decay.